everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today, and I'm going to be talking about a new book that's releasing. It's called The Piano, and it's by novelist, the late Marion Ueckermann. And this one, it's a contemporary romance, it's a standalone story, and it fits within the Christian fiction category. And I've also pre-ordered it because, as I said, it's releasing later this month. Now, the reason I'm talking about this now, before I've read it, is that my schedule is quite full in the coming months. So I didn't want to not talk about this book, particularly to my listeners who are fans of Marion Ueckermann and her books that have been released in the past. So my plan is that I will do an episode on the book, but it probably won't be until later this year at this point in time. So Marion was an absolutely wonderful dear friend of mine. We worked together. We did a number of group projects together. We also blogged together at a couple of group blogs, and we were roomies at the 2015 ACFW conference in Dallas. That's the American Christian Fiction Writers Conference. And sadly, in 2021, we lost Marion during the pandemic. It was a very hard time for her family and her friends and her writing friends and her reading friends. It was absolutely devastating to lose her during the pandemic to COVID. And I miss her, and I will always miss her. And her writing and reading friends will also miss her. And I've really missed reading stories by her because we're now 5 years down the track and there has not been a new release from her because she's not here. And one of the books that I did do with her was in A Tuscan Legacy, my book Solo 2, my main character Sienna. Her brother and sister were in other books that Marion wrote in that series. And there's a number of authors running around who have also worked with Marion who are very sad that we don't get to create worlds and work with her again. So, Autumn MacArthur, who's another dear friend of mine and wonderful author, she's been working with Marion's family to finish The Piano and to get this book edited and published. So, I'm going to read the book description for The Piano, and then I'm going to read the publisher note that Autumn's wrote as well. And I'm going to try not to cry as I do this because it's bittersweet. It's so wonderful to have a new book from Marion coming into the world, but at the same time, it's bittersweet because she's not here to enjoy it, and we need to wait until eternity to reunite with Marion and tell her how much we loved her book. So here's the book description for The Piano. A hidden treasure, a centuries old mystery, and a growing love built on a lie. Archaeologist Elizabeth Jensen's life is defined by the dirt and history of her South African dig sites. But her greatest discovery isn't found in a trench, it's delivered to her door. When she inherits a family piano linked to a Boer War mystery, she refuses to sell, determined to protect the history and the family ties the heirloom represents. She didn't count on Karl von Henselt's determination to own it. Sophisticated and charming, the German concert pianist claims to be captivated by the piano's history. In reality, he's hunting for a key to a legendary treasure. His plan is simple: romance the archaeologist, find the key, and leave. But he's not the only one with a hidden agenda. Lizzie isn't sure she can trust him and has a plan of her own. As they sift through the echoes of the past, a real connection takes root. For Lizzie, Carl could be the man God intends for her, the man she's waited for. For Carl, Lizzie is a reminder of the man of integrity and faith he could be. As the mystery unravels, they must both decide if finding the treasure is worth the cost. Will their secrets and deceptions bury their chance of love, or can they find the courage to step into the light and trust the future that God has planned? And that just sounds like I'm already hooked into wanting to read this story. As I said, this was an automatic pre-order moment for me. Without a hesitation, I wanted to read this book. So now I'm going to read the note from the publisher, and that's Autumn MacArthur's note that she's got. And this information is all in the book description. Marion Ueckermann was a beautiful and gifted South African storyteller and world traveller who published over 25 sweet and tender Christian romances, often with a hint of mystery, as well as poetry, devotionals, and a memoir of her father. The Piano is the first book she ever wrote, set aside to be edited and published someday, while she worked on other stories and lived life to the full as a busy and beloved wife, mother, grandmother, and sister. Sadly, COVID took her before she was able to revise and release the novel. And this is Autumn talking here. I loved Marion like a sister and missed her so much, especially our late night story brainstorming sessions as we worked together on multiple group projects and so often had the exact same ideas for plot and character at the exact same time. So I was honoured when her family asked if I'd help get the story published in her memory and out to the readers who remember her and miss her. Wow, what a story. I didn't want to stop reading it and couldn't stop thinking about the characters when I wasn't reading it. It's an adventure, a mystery, a tender romantic love story wrapped up with plenty of travel. I hope you enjoy this emotional journey of faith, romance, and finding the future God intends as much as I did. Blessings, Autumn MacArthur, editor, publisher, and friend. And the dedication that Autumn has written. For Marion, 1960 to 2021, a beautiful woman with a beautiful soul and so very loved, now with Jesus. And that's just wow. I have no words. It is just such a beautiful tribute from Autumn for our beloved Marion. So thank you for joining me today. And if The Piano by the beautiful Marion Ueckermann sounds like a book that you'd like to read, please go and check it out. And I'll have a link to where you can find the book in the show notes. So thanks for tuning in and see you next time.